Hello and welcome to Amplify. My name is Bob Gentle and every Tuesday I drop a video here. So if you would like those, I would suggest you hit the subscribe button. But today I want to talk about an issue which I think affects a lot of people. If you're a bit like me, then you probably suffer from a lot of imposter syndrome, a lot of anxiety and comparison around the kind of content that you put out, and a bit of low self-esteem. I don't think it's just me. But when it comes to content marketing, especially when you run a small business, and actually a lot of the time your personal brand is actually what needs to take precedence over your business brand, people second guess themselves a lot. And this second guessing often leads to content marketing being completely abandoned. For a long time, I would react jealously to what, from my perspective, was mediocre content being put out by others I felt didn't really have as much ability as I believed that I had. And I think that's a common experience. But what was interesting was that what I viewed as mediocre content was clearly working really, really well for the people that were putting it out. Not everybody is like this. And it's funny. It's almost a paradox that we see poor content going out and working. But when we create content that's potentially or obviously better, suddenly it's not good enough. It makes no sense, but it's a real experience. So does any of this sound familiar? Everything I have to say has already been said before. Or my life, work, experience, environment, personality isn't as interesting as other people's. Or who would be interested in what I know? And this is all compounded when we look at platforms like video or YouTube or podcasting, where we're actually at risk of being judged on our appearance or how we sound. It can be pretty overwhelming. I had a client a while back in the IT space, and in our first meeting, he told me about a competitor, and he showed me his LinkedIn profile, his podcast, and effectively gave me a guided tour of his personal brand content ecosystem. And what he said to me was, I want you to help me do that. Now, the competitor wasn't really doing anything amazing. He wasn't putting in a tremendous amount of time. It wasn't all business related. He just expressed himself online. He made videos quite frequently. And he simply focused on showing up online. But his business was booming. My client, point blank, refused to produce any content. He hyper-focused on the detail to the extent that he second-guessed everything and produced nothing. He had more experience, he had a bigger team, he had a better team, he had all the resources, and yet produced nothing. Now, this isn't just about my clients, it's also been a big point of resistance for me in my business, and I think probably is one of the single biggest things that's held my business back over the years, and it might be the same for you. A couple of weeks ago, I interviewed a guy called Jeff Goins for my podcast, and he's quite a well-known author. And he inspires me in lots of different ways, which is why he was on my podcast. But he dropped a quote which really sent me spinning sideways for a little while. And the quote was very simple. It's, what's ordinary to you is amazing to others. Let that sink in for a minute. When I started working with groups of small businesses, more as a coach than as a consultant, I started to realize how true this was, and in more ways than you would really expect. It's almost a cliche to say that we often worry about what other people think of us. Everybody kind of can relate to that. But in marketing, a lot of business owners worry about the reactions of completely the wrong people. Often they worry about the reactions of their competitors or their peers, rather than their prospective customers. Who is your content marketing actually for? It's for the people who need you. So why are you holding back? And why are you holding you back, more importantly? You are amazing for the person who actually values what you have to offer. Not for the person to the left or to the right of that person. Only for that person that needs that value. So you need to stop second guessing everything and start expressing something. I've been observing this a lot since I first became aware of it. There's so much that we find amazing and impressive in other people, but we fail to apply those same measures to ourselves. We see as amazing things like knowledge, experience, location, curiosity, humor, when others express it. We need to have a little confidence that when we express ourselves, those same rules will be applied to us. If you don't show up online, one thing is for certain: you will not win online. If you do show up online and give yourself permission to be amazing to someone, then you'll start the journey, which can quickly lead to the kind of wins which transform your business, like my IT client's competitor, and, for that matter, my own. If you have enjoyed this video, then I would love for you to hit the thumbs up button. And if you want to make sure you get future videos, then don't forget to subscribe, and also click the bell when you subscribe. That way you'll get notifications every time I post a new video, which is typically every Tuesday. If you have questions, or if you want to continue the conversation with me, please do it in the comments. I would love to chat with you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you again soon.